G'day guys, been wanting a petrol pressure washer for quite a while. Anyway, went to Aldi this morning, they had one on special. Not expecting too much. Just, looks like it's got some sort of clone Chinese 4-stroke engine on it, probably based around the Honda GX series. So, where's the specifications? Almost 200cc overhead valve engine, a maximum pressure of 2700 psi, and built-in soap reservoir. I didn't pay attention saying keep this way up. I did have it laying down in the ute, so hopefully they've got the oil in a separate bottle and haven't just pre-filled the motor. Worst case, bit of mess to clean up. Yeah, other side of the outside of the box. And here's your technical specs here. Anyway, 3-year warranty, so if it does turn out to be a piece of shit, I can get my money back or get another one. No big deal. And for $299, I'm not expecting a hell of a lot. That's just half a day at work for me, so worst case you can write it off. Anyway, we'll grab a knife and start cutting these straps off. I've got a feeling these have been sitting around for a while. The boxes are a bit faded. No matter, as long as what's in it's good. Had to line up at the bloody door to get in because these sold out very quickly. There was 2 walking out as I'm walking in, and there was another 6 people lined up with them on the way out behind me. So, anyway, what have we got here? Reasonably well packed. Might just put the camera down for a minute and get all this shit out of the box. So, your main power unit, and a whole bunch of parts. But one thing I have noticed is this was just floating around in the bottom of the box. I've just thrown it on for the sake of it, and I managed to rip it doing so. Yes, the engine's shit without oil, but there's no bottle of oil in the box even to run it in like you would get on a lot of items. So might be worth keeping an eye on the Aldi dumpsters when a whole heap get taken back, because ignorant people don't check things like that and they just throw fuel in it and start it, especially with that tag just sitting in the bottom of the box. Could use a few of these little frames for putting small engines on to work on them. Anyway, we'll get all this shit assembled, and I've got a big drum of SAE 30 which will do the job. I think it calls for 5W30, but I haven't got any here today, and I'm not going to drive for half an hour when I've got night shift tonight just to go and get some, so we'll run it in on it, 10W30. But we're only going to run it for a couple of hours and change out the SAE 30, give this engine its best chance at life anyway. Anyway, let's get into it. So here we are, all assembled. Doesn't look too bad, but everything's shiny out of China. It's whether how well it works or not. Just got to grab some oil and some petrol and see what happens. Hopefully it works. It's the main thing. Only basic tools needed. I've got some ratchet spanners here. Anyone that doesn't have these and thought about getting them but thought they'd never really use them that much, these are great. And these only came from Super Cheap Auto. I think they're $40 a set. I've got metric and imperial. They've got a lifetime warranty, and I've been using these for about a year or so now, and they're really great for being in tight places where you can only get a minimal swing, and saves a lot of time. And a basic small socket set, which I've had for years. Anyhow, I'll go and get some fuel and oil and some water connected and see what happens. Fuck off, kitty cat. So we're all set to go. Oil's full, got some fuel in there. A couple of things I've noticed so far. This fuel filler's in a dead set pain in the ass spot because I use 20 litre fuel can and you're trying to reach over the top into this little gap here. I'm trying not to spill it. The way the hose reel's set up, it's got coming back around here, and it works, but I'd rather have one where the freshwater hose came in from the back or the front, and then the high pressure hose comes out the opposite side. So say if I've got that extended all the way out, which I would sometimes, I'd find myself probably tripping over this hose here. No big deal though. I've got the water going through it, primed it out, because the last thing you want is a high pressure pump running with no water in it, or any water pump running with nothing sitting there in it. Not much else for it but to give it a crank. On off switch, turn that to on, choke. Now my phone, which I'm recording off at the moment, it's going to mute this because I haven't bought a new camera yet. So yeah, I'll get set up and actually we'll start it, and then I'll pause it and unroll some of this cord and go from there. We're on choke. It's going to be interesting trying to hold this and do this at the same time. This starter's in a bit of a prick of a spot as well. So. We'll go for a run. Okay, for the most part, seems to work alright. Hang on a minute. See how it goes over the long run anyway. I'm going to use it a lot more than your average domestic household's going to use one. One thing I've noticed, there's no fuel tap. So it's a bit hard to turn the fuel off and empty out the carb if you're going to store it for a couple of months. So in that sort of case, I'd recommend that you only put in a little bit of fuel at a time and tip it out after you're done, or siphon it out and then run it till it stops, with water going through it obviously. I haven't looked at what type of air filter we've got. We've just got a nasty foam air filter, which around wet conditions when you're washing isn't really going to be that bad of a thing. If it was an engine running in a dry environment like a generator or something, you probably want a paper air filament and your foam one. Smell that cheap Chinese building oil burning off, or assembly oil. Anyway, all in all, pretty happy. Over the next, with all my uploads, it'll be sitting there in the background, no doubt be using it, so plan in a year's time to see how it's still going. Thanks for watching.